Alright, ladies and gentlemen, back on some Kaiju number 8 news. Now, obviously, I've spoken about how, obviously, the Nanami Limited banner is gone, and that we could suspect to see something brand new, character-wise, coming in the coming days. Other than the fact that we know that near the end of November, we know it's confirmed to say that there's going to be a new character releasing. It's going to be the continuation of the story event. Well, I guess it says upcoming new story event, but right, there's more to come near the end in terms of new characters from what I'm hearing. Of course, you know, I've already spoken about that. Once again, talking about the Kaiju number 8 character, we could, well, I'm not sure when we're going to be getting it, but apparently we're going to be getting a variant of that. So we'll have to wait and see that later down the line. Could be scheduled for December, who knows? But 11th is when we're getting the next piece of content, which is the large conquest. Obviously, I believe it has been removed. So if you haven't done the previous one, then it is what it is. But yeah, the large conquest is next. It's on the 11th, and there was a chance of a new character releasing. Now, truth be told, we're still waiting on the continuation of the original characters, right? Because, again, there's 3, and they are taking their sweet-ass time with that. Now, they have announced on what is going down. So if I scroll all the way up, and there's Minna, we don't care about the web shop, but there it is, yes. So, special event, 20th of November. However, ahead of the event, Isao Shinomiya in his younger days will be added early on November. That doesn't really make sense. Why would they drop it early and then have his... So what do they... See, the only thing that this tells me, that we're getting Prime Isao now, and then on November 20th, which is obviously near the end of November, I feel like it is the perfect opportunity for them to drop Hikari Shinomiya, aka his wife, right? Because then we've got the father, we got the wife, and then of course Kikuru. I mean, there's 2 variants of her already, right? One in a gauntlet, which is unique. I think that would be spot on, and then from that point on, we're then going to be waiting for suited number 4 Kikuru, of course, whenever they want to drop that. I think at that point, probably that could be the reason why they've been holding on to it. So we're getting the full Shinomiya family in the game, and I think that'll be a nice little touch. That's what I'm suspecting. That is what I'm suspecting. Otherwise, this is just an out of the blue having another Isao kind of drop. But again, it's in his prime, so God knows what's going to be happening here. So it's confirmed here. In a special event coming on November 20th, we get to see Isao Shinomiya in his prime, back when he was the captain of Japan Defense Force 1st Division. But again, I'm eager to see on how this is going to play out. In his prime, I'm suspecting some offensive power. Actually, I don't even know how this is going to work. Because Minna came in as a AoE DPS. Then we had the PLT Destroyer Narumi. Then we had the God DPS Destroyer Social, of course. So I'm just like, surely he's not going to be defense again. Because to be fair, the day 1 version of him being the defender that he is still a good character, a fantastic defender. So I'm kind of stumped on what he'll be doing. It could be a situation where it might be another Minna or situation where, you know, alright, he's cool. Skip though, right? It could be one of those situations, but we'll have to wait and see. But he's in his prime. He's in his prime. So just to give you a bit of a look on what's coming in the coming days. So obviously, on the 11th is when he releases. That is when Large Conquest will drop. So an added game mode already, but it's been with new stages, so more ways to farm currency, which I'm very happy about. By the way, for what I don't know what's going on, but the stuff that they've been doing for November, including the little bit of an issue that they had, there's a lot of currency to be farmed up, so I'm very happy with how they've been doing that. So again, I know some people might make the complaint of, but they're dropping so many characters. I said it before and I'll say it again, Minna was really not worth the pull, I'm gonna be honest. It could be the case of this Isao in his prime, we'll have to wait and see, but I'm just keeping it real. Some of these characters you can just kind of hot miss, and if anyone is going to be skipping this banner and then going into the end, or at the beginning of December, I guess, or whatever's dropping on the 20th, you should have like over 10k, if I'm being honest, if you've been saving, that is, of course. So we've got campaigns, which is perfect, happy about that, more crystals to be gained. I think with those campaign crystals that they give us, it's around about 700, if I can be correct, around 700 to 800, so there's more to be gained right there. Raid battle, fantastic. Everyone's been, honestly, with the characters that we've had recently, I need that raid battle to drop because I want to see some stupid numbers. I think the highest number that was achieved in the previous raid battle, and this is from an absolute giga whale, was I think 8 billion. So we're about to go crazy on this one. We're about to see some numbers that's going to be absolutely insane, so I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, the continuation of characters and whatnot will be through the 20th. Unless the alternative for the 20th drop is either Hikari Shinomiya, aka the mother, or it could be the suited number 4 Kikuru that I know a lot of people are waiting on. So it could be one or the other. It definitely will be one of the... If it's not and it's someone completely different, it would be very awkward. Because, I mean, story event, we're kind of going through his prime, kind of getting that Shinomiya family vibe. So to me, it only feels right. It's got to be one of the two. Either the mother or the daughter. Or the wife. Yeah, if we're looking at it from Isao's perspective. Oh, God. But yeah, coming back to the current version of him that we have right now. Again, I don't have him fully done up because, respectfully, I don't really use him for anything other than defending the whole team. When it comes to AoE defense, he is bar none the best at that, right? There's no one else doing it, and obviously, to be fair, with where the game is at right now, he is still holding his value. I'm actually tempted to get him maxed out because I can get the additional dupe to get that. Well, I don't really need to do anything with follow-up, so I might just wait. But yeah, coming back to obviously where he's at right now, even with where the game is at and the characters that have been releasing, he still holds a place in a team comp, especially when it comes to having your whole team protected. Don't get me wrong, Isao Shinomiya, she's again another phenomenal defender, and I still kind of prioritize her more. But in a situation where I need the whole squad to be protected and just eating a ton of hits, he will do that job. So, in terms of getting a defender role of him in his prime, I think that is out of the question. We do not need that. This man is still, in his older version, kicking ass and chewing bubblegum with keeping the whole team alive. We could get a version of him where he's kind of debuffing but doing damage. That's a possibility. Because of course with the Kikuru right now that we have, again, her debuffing is insane. Her charge rate on her ultimate is disgusting. Her damage output is just not... It's not the best, but it's decent, like chip damage at the end of the day, so it's not too horrible on that part. But again, if we get something like that, then with the debuffing, with the charge rate, with damage, then I'll be sold. Then I'll be sold. But I'm eager to see on how things would work, because like I said, in terms of DPS power that we have had recently, it has been crazy. And if anything, in his prime, I don't see him being a support. So I suspect, and I'm going to go with to say that he might be a damage dealing debuffing character. That, or having DPS power with buff plays, I suspect it's going to be one or the other. I don't realistically thinking outside the box, the whole buff plays, that's just kind of really thinking outside the box. But I will go for to say that he could just be another version of this Kikuru, but having power behind him. I'm going to go with that. Well, time will tell. Oh, well, I say time will tell. We'll find out in 2 days on what's going down. Unless they do what they did with Midnight Astro and they release his info tomorrow, then we'll look into that. What if he's able to stun the enemy? What if he's able to, like, paralyze them? Because we've got things like freezing the enemy, but we know that when the speed, when the bar goes across, when it gets to them, you know, they just kind of unfreeze and they continue beating our asses, right? It just makes no sense. So what if he actually stops them? Now that will be interesting to see. I hope he has something like that. Give us a character that can stun and paralyze and actually effectively stop the enemy in their tracks. That could be something. That could be something.